me that hotels and motels were not being held accountable for sex trafficking previous to this new bill coming out? So coming right out of Sacramento, California, 35th District Assemblyman Jordan Cunningham has introduced a new bill to the California State Assembly that advances the fight against human trafficking. Assembly Bill 1788 would allow city and district attorneys to penalize hotel or motel owners if supervisors knew or should have known that victims were being trafficked on site and did not contact law enforcement. I'll ask the question again. This is just coming out now? Sex trafficking is not a new thing, folks. So now they'll be penalized. Before, no penalty. If you knew or should have known that victims were being trafficked on site and you didn't contact law enforcement. Now get this. The bill includes graduated penalties for repeat occurrences. There shouldn't be any repeat occurrences as far as I'm concerned. You do this once. You know, or you should have known, you turned your head the other way and you looked the other way because you're profiting off of sex trafficking taking place in your motel or your hotel. You do it once, you're done. But this bill, this hardline bill out of the state of California, graduated penalties for repeat occurrences, up to $1,000 for the first occurrence. Oh my goodness. $3,000 for the second, $5,000 for a third, and up to $10,000 for a fourth. And you read this and you think, wait, is California, what are they doing here? They're like, part of me, the cynical part of me says they're throwing this in our faces and saying, okay, we're trying to look legitimate for the dumbed down population that, sex trafficking, yeah, that's bad. Oh, look at California. Oh, they've got a new bill out and they're going to punish these people. And this is good. Good old progressive California. And then I'm thinking, wait, they're throwing it in our faces saying, hey, you can get away with this. You're going to have to pay a fine for profiting off of sex trafficking if you're a hotel or a motel owner. But heck, you can get away with it not once, not twice, not 3 times. Hey, even 4 times. Oh, you're going to pay $10,000. Unbelievable. Quote, human trafficking is the fastest growing crime in the United States, and it is happening in seedy hotels and motels throughout all parts of California. Cunningham, a former San Luis Obispo County prosecutor, said in a statement, AB 1788 would give local prosecutors and city attorneys another tool to fight trafficking and save victims. Now, don't get me wrong. I know on the surface, it is a step in the right direction. No doubt. But again, where was this bill a long time ago, and why are there graduated penalties? It should be one and done. I knew about it, but I didn't report it to authorities. Oh, I'm going to have to pay $1,000. I might not want to let that happen again because what's it going to be? $2,000, $3,000? Gosh, I better start paying attention. Unbelievably sick that it's taken this long to get this milquetoast bill. Now watch, maybe it won't even pass. Who knows? I wouldn't be shocked. Not in California. All right, moving right along, shall we? Let's talk about this. I told you I was going to be all over the map today. Eric Adams, on Friday's broadcast of MSNBC's Morning Joe, New York City Mayor Eric Adams stated that morale among police officers is low. I wonder why that could be. I want to play a soundbite, but think about what's happened over the past several years regarding police. Defund the police, BLM. I got some articles here we're going to get to about the BLM. We haven't talked about the domestic terrorist group for a while. Do you wonder why? Cops being targeted, being hunted endlessly. Is it any shock that morale among police officers is low? Let's see what Eric Adams had to say on the Morning Joe show.
Mayor Adams, Willie, guys, good to see you this morning. As you know very well, as a former police officer, now the mayor, when you talk to cops in your city, you know that they will tell you one thing: we've got to change this bail law at the state level, because we're seeing the same criminals we arrest with a gun one day. That night we might arrest them again a couple times a week, the same people. A revolving door of criminals going in and out, and judges say, we agree with you, but our hands are tied because of these laws. Will you be looking at that as mayor, and do you think it ought to be changed?
That's one of the rivers that we must dam, the bail law and also raise the age. Both of them, we need to tweak those laws in certain areas. It's unimaginable that right now judges cannot look at a dangerous person that can actually do imminent danger in a city and not say this person should not be released. That is the aspect of the bail law that we're looking at and asking lawmakers to revisit. We believed in the criminal justice reform. We must be clear on that. But when you do an analysis of reform, you must also have the balance of public safety. And right now, the way it stands with raise the age and possession of a gun and the bail law where judges cannot use dangerousness as an assessment, 49 states are doing that. New York should be one of them as well.
All right, so a couple of things about that. And previous to that, you got the other host on the Morning Joe show. I didn't even see Morning Joe. Don't care. Joe Scarborough is unbearable to listen to. But you got this other host, and she starts the interview by saying, Mayor, if defund the police isn't the answer, then what is? As though anyone in their right mind would think that defunding the police would help dealing with criminals. Criminal justice reform, he mentions. Oh, I believe in that. And then earlier he talks about taking more guns off the streets. Of course, it's always about got to get rid of all the guns, which essentially means taking them away from law-abiding citizens, as though criminals are just going to turn in their guns if they politely ask them to. But at least he did admit, former police officer, you can't forget your roots, can you? This revolving door, I've never understood it. And we read about it day in and day out. Many times it's with illegal aliens, non-citizens that are busted for one crime or another, usually a serious crime, are then released back onto the streets to do more damage, and they often do. And of course, the same thing happens with our own citizens. And then let's not forget, the riots of a couple of summers ago. Oh, hey, we'll just have famous Hollywood stars bail out these criminals that are going around burning down buildings, torching police cars and government buildings. Oh, hey, we'll just bail them out so they can go out and do some more damage. But no, we don't talk about that. We don't care about that. What we care about is the awful tragedy of January 6th and how it's comparable to 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. Give me a break. All right, let's shift gears to something else, literally shifting gears to this story from Paul Joseph Watson. Headline, all new cars sold in the European Union are going to be fitted with data recording black box. Oh, all in the name of safety, guaranteed, right? Starting this summer, all new cars sold in the EU will by law contain a black box accessible by authorities, there's that word again, authorities, that records driving data. From July 6th, 2022, all car manufacturers will be forced to fit new models with a system that keeps track of technical data. Oh, more statistics, right? The data recorded will include the vehicle's speed, braking, steering wheel angle, its incline on the road, and whether the vehicle's various safety systems were in operation, starting with seat belts. See, it's a good thing. It's all in the name of safety. There's no such thing as Big Brother watching your every move. Quote, the new system will coincide with the introduction of Intelligent Speed Assistance, also known as ISA. These systems, which will warn drivers when they breach the speed limit. However, the ISA systems should not prevent the driver from actually breaking the speed limit. So I guess it'll be like an annoying, buzzing sound of a flashing red light on your dashboard when you attempt to breach the speed limit. But they say, oh, don't worry, at least for now, it will not prevent the driver from actually breaking the speed limit. But the little black box will have that data recorded to see if you've been speeding and how often you've been speeding. The system, and folks, if you don't think that the U.S. is going to do the exact same thing, in fact, I will not be shocked at all. In fact, I certainly expect it. California will be at the forefront of this new technology. I mean, heck, they're already trying to, tax you by the mile. And this will go right along with it. Hey, how would we tax somebody by the mile? Well, very easy. You install these black boxes into your vehicles, and it'll keep track of how many miles you drove. And does this mean you'll get retroactive speeding tickets? Oh, well, we check your black box at the end of every month, and we noticed that you were speeding 3 times. So you will now be receiving 3 speeding tickets in the mail. The system, which will be accessible to law enforcement, but not insurance companies. Yeah, right. At least not yet. Can you imagine how much your insurance is going to go up once they read your black box reports? It will also be able to catalog the exact type of vehicle and send the information to manufacturers after an accident. Authorities, there's that word again, claim the data will be anonymous, meaning the information can't be used to identify the owner of the vehicle. Although, Paul Joseph Watson says, although only the incredibly naive would plausibly believe that. Oh, it's in your car, but it doesn't know who you are. It doesn't keep track of your name and your driver's license number. This is purely for safety measures for the manufacturers and for the authorities. For decades, government have been pushing for all cars to be fitted with black boxes that track location data. The ultimate dystopian scenario involves giving police the power to utilize similar technology to completely disable the functioning of a vehicle if the driver is deemed to have committed an infraction. This doesn't need to be a criminal offense. If the pursuit of social credit score schemes continues to become more invasive, it would eventually be used as a form of punishment for everything from unpaid utility bills to offensive comments posted on social media. So he makes some excellent points. I mean, this is something straight out of 1984, which, if you remember from last week's episode of Current Disclosure, the book 1984 has been given a trigger warning in universities in the UK. This says you could be triggered if you read the book 1984. But this whole black boxes in your vehicle, tracking your every move, where you go, how many miles you drive, how fast you're driving, if you made an illegal left-hand turn, and then, of course, the idea to shut the car down. Now, again, well, wouldn't this be great? No more car chases. No more O.J. Simpson with the white Bronco driving down, the L.A. freeway, and it's all over TV, and how are they going to catch this guy, and recklessly drive. Hey, we can get rid of all that. Because if they had this technology back then, you see, they could just turn off the Bronco. And the Bronco would just, roll to a slow stop safely. And the cops would be upon him, and there would be no further need. See, it's okay. It's for safety. But as he points out here in the article, look how they're trying to cancel people left and right now. And this whole social credit score that China is putting into place, and make no mistake, any government sees this is appetizing to the government. Social credit scores? Oh, you've been criticizing the government. Your social credit score just went down. Oh, you didn't pay your utility bills. Guess what? Now you can't drive. We're going to shut your car off until you pay your bills.